Putin News Now. Putin claims Moscow concert hall shooters tried to flee to Ukraine. Ukrainian authorities deny involvement. As Russian officials apprehended 4 suspects and the dead toll topped 130, the suburban Moscow Music Hall where the shooting occurred was a blackened, burning ruin on Saturday. Putin made the accusation that they were apprehended on their way to Ukraine. The assault on Friday at Krasnogorsk's Crocus City Hall took place on Friday, and the Islamic State group's Afghanistan affiliate claimed credit. Kyiv vehemently denied any connection in the attack. Kyiv accused Putin and other Russian officials of insinuating a connection between the attack and Ukraine in order to fuel support for Russia's ongoing conflict in Ukraine, which has now entered its 3rd year, even though Putin refrained from mentioning IS in his national address. U.S. intelligence agencies verified the IS affiliate's assertion. The entire blame for this attack rests with ISIS. National Security Council spokesman Adrian Watson stated that there was absolutely no involvement from Ukraine. Watson claimed that in early March, the United States warned Russian citizens of a potential terrorist assault and exchanged intelligence with Russia regarding the plot. Besides injuring over 100, the assault resulted in the detention of 11 individuals, according to Putin. He described it as a terrible, horrific terrorist crime and noted that the 4 individuals were apprehended by Russian officials while attempting to cross into Ukraine through a window that had been set up for them on the Ukrainian side of the border. Russian media aired footage that appeared to document the arrest and questioning of the suspects. One of the men interviewed said that an unnamed assistant to an Islamic cleric had approached him through a messaging app and offered him money to participate in the raid. Tajikistan is a largely Muslim Central Asian republic that borders Afghanistan. According to Russian news accounts, the gunmen were citizens of this country. There are a large number of Tajiks who are citizens of Russia and up to 1.5 million who have worked there. There was no quick response from the Tajikistani Foreign Ministry regarding the arrests, despite their denial of earlier reports in Russian media that implicated multiple other Tajiks in the raid. Putin seemed to dismiss the concept of a crackdown on Tajik migrants, telling that no force would be able to sow the toxic seeds of dissension, panic or disintegration in our multi-ethnic community, despite calls from many Russian hardliners for doing so. He announced nationwide security measures and designated Sunday as a day of sorrow. With 133 casualties, it was the bloodiest attack in Russia in recent memory. More casualties may be on the way, according to authorities. Following the most severe crackdown on opposition since the Soviet era, the Russian leader solidified his hold on the country for another 6 years in a vote that occurred just days before the humiliating raid. Russian social media critics questioned the government failure to prevent the attack despite U.S. warnings, given their unrelenting suppression of opposition activity and independent media. 2 weeks prior to the attack, the U.S. Embassy in Moscow had communicated a warning to Americans, stating that there were imminent intentions by radicals to attack big gatherings in Moscow, such as concerts. Multiple Western embassies also issued similar warnings. Putin condemned the warning earlier this week, saying it was an effort to scare Russians. On Saturday, investigators searched the hall's charred remains for any additional casualties. Russian health officials reported that hundreds of people waited in line to donate plasma and blood in Moscow. Following remarks made by Russian legislators who instantly placed the blame on Ukraine following the attack, Putin asserted that the assailants attempted to flee to Ukraine. As an effort by Putin and his associates to deflect responsibility from themselves and treat their own citizens as expendables, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky vehemently denied Moscow's charges.